Yay! We're finally live. So, what I want to talk about in this live is my birthday because today's my birthday. I turned 25 years old. Woo! Made it to the big 2-5. And also, I'm going to be unpacking my gifts and showing off the gifts that I got today for my birthday. So, the first thing that I got was a card, and this was from my grandma, and it said ready to go, ready, set, go, celebrate. Hey, beautiful magic. And this is a card here. Okay. And then I'm going to show you guys the card that my mom had bought for me. It's this one. And it says daughter on the front. It says, seeing the beautiful person you're becoming. You'll see. Can't help feeling blessed, remembering the day you were born, thinking about the little girl you grew into, seeing the beautiful person you're becoming. Thanking God for you and your birthday. And that's what it says. So this is pretty much what my grandma got me. Toothpaste, hair bows, Listerine, pretty much all necessities. And a candle. The candle one says happy birthday. And we smell it. It smells really good. It smells like a birthday cake. And the other gift that I got from my grandma was this crystal brush collection. You guys know that I'm a certified makeup artist now, so I really like to do makeup, and that's what I'm really getting into at the moment. So the brushes that we have here would be the lip brush, the shadow brush, the point brush, the eye blending brush, the contour brush, foundation brush, angled blusher brush, powder brush, and blusher brush, as well as a little sparkly case that comes in with it. Then the next gift that I have is, what you do on your birthday? Well, my birthday is pretty much over for today because what I did, I pretty much got the gifts, and I went to this restaurant called River Birch where they gave me a free birthday cake. It was free, but you had to get a meal with it in order for it to be free. So I just got this white chili bean soup that they had on the menu, and so that's what I got for my birthday, as well as a free slice of cake. You see the slice of cake with the ice cream on top? It actually wasn't a slice of cake. I call it a fancy brownie because that's really all it was. It was just a brownie wrapped up in a pastry, and then it had like a scoop of ice cream on top of it. And then I went to this restaurant called Chopped, which is a salad restaurant, and I got this salad called chicken al pastor because the theme that they have at this restaurant, Chop, they always do cultural based salads, and the culture that they've chosen for now is Mexico. So a lot of their bowls are Mexican based, and they had a few or two that were Asian or Chinese based. So I got a baby fat wallet. Anybody who knows me knows I love baby fat. I've been in love with baby fat since I was in elementary school. Back when Kamora Lee Simmons had style and pizzazz and all the little razzle dazzle that went with it. Because the H&M baby fat, I hate it. It's not. It's I understand that this is not 1999 or 2001, but I feel like if Fashion Nova and Pretty Little Things can put out all this different stuff, I don't see why Cabora Lee Simmons couldn't have revamped the line since she now has ownership of it and make it a full fledged line like it was back then. Because back in the day, you could get baby fat backpacks, a cell phone, the shoes, the hat, glasses, clothes, the perfume. I mean, you could have a full closet and probably bathroom set of baby fat. But I do like how City Trends has, I guess they bought the licensing to baby fat because you can go to City Trends now and find jumpsuits, rompers, t-shirts, jeans, baby fat. And I even bought car seats, well, car floor mats and a car steering wheel for when I get my car that has baby fat on it. It's in black and pink. And I got this multicolored e.l.f. eyeshadow. So that's all of my gifts that I have for today. I'm really happy about my gifts because these were gifts that do reflect me and they represent me. Is Baby Fat part of Fat Farm? Yes, Baby Fat is a part of Fat Farm, but I think that Russell Simmons sold his share of Fat Farm because unfortunately a lot of the black urban lines that came out like Fubu, Fat Farm, Baby Fat, House of Darion, and even Apple Bottoms, I think have sold their shares to either other manufacturing companies or they've just stopped continuing the line and they've allowed places like City Trends to probably buy the licensing to recopy these lines so that when you go in City Trends, you can buy like jumpsuits and rompers and shoes and necklaces and things of that sort that have baby fat on it, but they just don't have the name. It's not an original, but it's close to the original. So now that my birthday is out of the way, oh, and this is not the only thing to my birthday because you guys know I'm going to Puerto Rico in January for 2 nights and 3 days, starting on January the 8th, all the way, no, January the 6th up until January the 8th. And I will be vlogging, but I think I'm going to do a live chat as I'm in Puerto Rico because I tried to do a Love and Hip Hop review yesterday, and for whatever reason, when I uploaded it, it cut my video in half. So I don't know why. I don't like my computer. I'm thinking about upgrading to either another Hewlett Packard or an Apple computer. I really want an Apple computer, so I think I'll aim for an Apple computer. So yeah, so this is just part one of my birthday. So in January, I'll be in Puerto Rico for part two. I've been doing a lot of research on Puerto Rico. The places I'll be going to will be San Juan, Old San Juan, Piñones, and Loíza. I really want to go to Loíza mainly because they have the largest black population in Puerto Rico. And a lot of people, don't know about, Puerto Rico's history, and a lot do. But it just seems like in a lot of countries, they always cover up the black people or the African population that had an influence on that country or culture's culture. And so I've been looking at different videos. When you go to Loisa, you do get to go to like the cultural center where they have a African arts exhibit where you get to see the museum. And then they teach you bomba. Bomba is a popular African-based dance in Puerto Rico. And you'll get to see the beaches and the people and everything. And that's something I want to capture because I am interested in learning about other Black people in other countries because I think it's pretty interesting that Black people have had such an impact on other cultures. So I want to go to Luisa for that reason. Then Piñones. I want to go to Piñones because I've seen other YouTubers go to Piñones for the food. I eat Puerto Rican food a lot. My friends have made Puerto Rican food for me. So I'm already familiar with the food, but I still want to try it and still see, what's different, what's not. And because I love it, so I just go ahead and eat it anyway. But I would like to see some different restaurants that are there. I know they have one restaurant that has a chocolate base to it. I did a little research on it and it's called Choc. No, I'm not even gonna butcher the name. I know that it's a family run business and they have a strong association with chocolate. So I think that when you go there, you can either get meals that are chocolate based or you can get the chocolate that the family is so known for at this restaurant. Then with Old San Juan, I would like to really tour, Old San Juan and go to El Moro as well as the cemetery that's in front of Immortal, and also get to enjoy the beach while I'm there. And moving along from my video, not video, my birthday. Moving along from my birthday celebration, I will be taking my channel on a new turn because I really want to expand my channel. I really want more views on my channel and more subscribers, of course, so that I can start making money. In the beginning of YouTube, a lot of people did it as a hobby, but once YouTube has started making it possible for people to make money, like PewDiePie and Michelle Phan, as well as others that have made millions off of YouTube. And I've been doing YouTube really on and off since like 2013, but I haven't really started taking it seriously up until 2017 to 2018. And so I think that after I do the reality show runs, because I'm thinking about covering Jocelyn Hernandez's TV show called Jocelyn's Cabaret. The trailer just dropped yesterday, and I will be reviewing the trailer. And I will be reviewing her show, and she's also on Love and Hip Hop Miami, which is coming out in January. So I'll be reviewing that show, and I'm going to be reviewing Love and Hip Hop New York. And once I get done reviewing those four shows, I think that I would like to start reviewing things that I genuinely love to do on my channel, such as foreign languages, being a medical interpreter, doing makeup, and things of that nature, because it's good to start reviewing other people's products and other people's shows on YouTube. But I'm going to be honest, I really want to be famous for me. I really want to be known for me. Because, yeah, it's good to have conversations with people about reality TV, about TV shows and music and pop culture. But I really want my own art to get out there, my own interests and my own hobbies and my own talents to get out there so I can make a name for myself. Yes, we do have a lot of YouTubers, especially black YouTubers, that end up being interviewers and TV show hosts on a lot of these popular TV shows that we cover because our content covering those shows is so popular. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of black YouTubers that are nationally known and internationally known, like Jackie Aina from Makeup, for instance, that are known for our talent. You see the Asian YouTubers, the Latin YouTubers, the white YouTubers, where they can go out and do gaming channels, they can do makeup channels, they can do foreign language channels, travel channels, and blow up. But I would really like to see black YouTubers start blowing up for other things than gossip and reviews and pop culture topics. And I'm not bashing anybody who does that, but I just know that I want to break away from reality TV reviews or reality TV and pop culture content and just break out and be my own star. Like, I want people to know who La Precious is, and I want people to be into La Precious, and for La Precious to have a name and a face out there where not only I could be here in YouTube, but I could also be out there in the real world. And be on TV, have my own show, be in music stores with my own album, be in art galleries with my own artwork, because I have many different talents that I have not showcased on this channel. And I think it'll be good for me to exercise that on my channel and work through it so that I can build some type of following on this channel. And that's why I like my channel, Let's Talk with La Precious, because I'm able to be flexible and to not keep myself in just one thing or one topic. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this segment of my YouTube channel today. And I really want to make the next 15-20 minutes for Q&A. So hit me up with the questions. Where are you excited? What are you excited to see when visiting Puerto Rico? Number one, I'll just be really happy to just be there because I've always loved the Puerto Rican culture since I was a child. Because once I started getting interested in the Spanish, that's when I started exploring the music and the food and the language and whatnot. So Puerto Rico, I think, was the first place other than Mexico that I became interested in. Puerto Rico, was an interest of mine because everybody knows Puerto Ricans. We all know it's an island in the Caribbean, and then salsa and reggaeton, and known for arroz con pollo, arroz con gandules, and coquito and the coqui frog, and plus the people above all else are known for being very beautiful. Every black woman that loves Puerto Rican men, they call them papi chulo, Puerto Rican poppies. And, and that's how we all come to know about Puerto Ricans and Puerto Rico. And, due to all those things, that's pretty much why I was, interested in Puerto Rico. But, I really enjoyed the Puerto Rican culture and the food and the music. And so I always wanted to go. And I remember being told as a child that I had well, I'll go ahead and say this, and it is true. But, I thought it was cool to kind of have a connection with somebody in Puerto Rico because on my dad's side, he had a brother that was a half brother that was Puerto Rican. His dad was his dad, but his brother's mom was Puerto Rican and she still lives in Puerto Rico, I think. I don't contact that family at all, so I don't know, but that's what I knew at the time. And I found that out. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I have an indirect connection with Puerto Rico because of this uncle. But other than that, it was cool. And so, since I have found, and I believe that this Las Vegas trip, even though, and I just feel like sometimes, even in your most disastrous times, you can always find a blessing in it. And I think that's what happened with Las Vegas, even though it wasn't 100% what I wanted it to be, it really stopped that fear of me getting up and being proactive and starting with traveling. I hopped on the flight, got out there to Las Vegas was here, and then hopped on the flight and came back. And so it really gave me the feel of being on the airplane. To be honest, I think when I go to Puerto Rico, I'll be accustomed to the airplane startup. I hate how airplanes start up because you feel the speed and the gravity, then your ears and stuff start popping. I'm like, oh, like get me out of here already. I cannot sleep on an airplane at all unless it's a really smooth ride. If it's not smooth, I'm staying up. Because whatever happens, I want to be alert and aware of what's going on. So that's why I don't sleep on airplanes. I think when I went to Vegas, I slept because that was like a 6 hour flight. I think I slept 2 out of the 6 hours and I was just up for the next four. So I think once I get to Puerto Rico, I'll be accustomed to being on airplanes. And so, yeah, I feel like this has really sparked a change in me about traveling. Because a lot of times, as people, if we don't live around people or around people that encourage you to be proactive and to get up and do stuff and get out there and do it, you'll be stuck and you'll just be stuck with your thoughts and say, well, I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you never get around to doing it because you're so used to saying it. And so, even though Las Vegas, like I said, wasn't all what I wanted it to be, it did spark me to travel more and to be out more and to be more social and more active outside of the house and outside of the city. Because, a lot of people are against going outside of their comfort zone because they want to be with people that are like them and they want to be around people that like what they like. I'm not that kind of person because sometimes where you're at and what you're surrounded by is not always good for you, nor is it a place where you could fit in at. And sometimes you just have to branch out and go out into a place where you can find your niche or kind of find your place and kind of be in a setting, where you feel like you belong. And sometimes that's what a lot of us need to do because sometimes instead of it being the people we have a problem with. It may just be the place because unfortunately, some cities have a common attitude, a common way of thinking, and a common way of seeing things. And we all know, to those of you that are different or unique, that if we don't fit that mindset and that way of feeling and thinking, we just don't fit in. Even when we're nice and polite, people still don't smile, they don't speak, they don't give us a chance, and you just constantly feel like you don't fit in and you don't belong. And so, and that's just something that I've learned from traveling. And I feel like it's given me a better insight about what to do and where to go. And I've already made it up in my mind that I do want to leave Winston-Salem, which is where I live, because I don't like it here. And so I've traveled to, in my whole life, I've been to New York, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I've been to Miami, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, Doral, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada. So I've been to 7 different cities in about, let's see, New York, Florida, South Carolina, and Nevada, and about 4 different states. And by me living there, I've started to get a really nice feel of what I want to do, where I want to go. I love Miami for the comforting feeling that it had in the food. I love Cuban food. That was my first time eating Cuban food like that, but I loved it, especially the cafe con leche or the coffee with milk. Amazing. And the cuisine, the Argentinian steak that I had, the Cuban steak that I had with the fries, the rice and beans. I loved it. Like I loved it. I love going to South Miami Beach, downtown Miami. I mean, I just love everything. And I also love that in Miami, if you're a Spanish speaker but not native, or if you're a person that wants to expand on your Spanish, Miami, but I will say that all of Miami is not the same, just the Miami that I was on. The Miami that I was on is mainly a Cuban and Colombian area. And so, in my encounters, a lot of the people, we went to different restaurants, Walmart, Uber drivers, they all spoke Spanish, and some of them couldn't speak English. So, if you're a Spanish speaker but not native and you just want to use your Spanish, or if you want to have a cultural immersion experience like I did, then Miami would be the place for you to go because you'll get a taste of the culture, you'll get a taste of the food, the language, the people, everything. So that's pretty much what I got out of it. Now, when it comes to New York was like a hustle and bustle place to me. It really seemed like a work state instead of a place where you could just chill. Now, the people from New York, they could be real cool, but they could also be real mean too. Because I remember how when I worked at Walmart, we had some people that would come through the line sometimes from New York. And yeah, it depended on what race they were. Some of them could be real cool, but some of them, they could just be mean. And I'm the type of person where I can get you told, I can defend myself, and I can rip you real good if you come for me first. But I'm not the type of person that likes to deal with constant talking back, negativity, and argumentative attitude and all that kind of stuff. And New York people, like I said, they can be real cool, but when it comes to that meanness and the short talking and whatnot, I can't deal with that. I've never understood how to communicate with people that talk in short sentences or with short responses, or when you talk to them, they don't talk to you, but then they want to come and talk to you. It's like I can't get with that. I'm an extrovert type of person. I like to reach out to people to talk and conversate and stuff. And when I'm in environments like that, I just can't. I can't do it because it's like they set the tone of how if you're not the kind of person that we want to talk to, then you're just not going to talk to nobody. Because in our world, we talk to you first instead of you talking to us. And even when you try to talk to them first in environments, they'll either look at you and not speak and turn their head. And it's just like, okay, how can you not speak to somebody that's speaking to you, and then when I'm not speaking, you want to speak? So And it's just like the opposite. It's like if I'm nice, you want to be mean. When I'm mean, you want to be nice. And you got people in Winston that are like that, and it drives me up the wall. And I just don't speak or nothing because a lot of times when I'm out at places and I try to be nice, and people just for whatever reason won't do stuff that's right, I have to be mean and snippy. And I mean, it may some people may say, "Well, you're being mean to service people, customer service people, whatever." It's like they ain't giving me no choice to be mean. Because when I'm nice, you won't fix my food right, you won't give me my clothes right, you won't give me my pencil, my paper, and I gotta snip at you, snap at you, and even get up and flag somebody down just to get your attention. And after a while, that gets really tiring. And I have been to places outside of Winston in North Carolina where I didn't have to do that, where people waited on me, they came to me and they helped me. And I've just learned in life that you have to live where people want to live with you. And then you have to also want to talk to people that want to talk to you. Because nowadays we live in a society where they want you to be okay with people treating you like dirt, treating you like the last option, or like you don't matter, or like you just a side dish that don't nobody like to eat, but they got to eat it anyway to be full. and they want you to be okay with that, and it's like I'm not okay with that because I'm not going to sit here and watch everybody else eat and be happy and be merry, and I'm not. I feel like it's torturing yourself when you do that. Why surround yourself with people that you want to be like, but they don't even want you there, and they treat you like you don't belong there? And so that's why with this traveling, I feel like it's just a really good experience for me, and it's letting me know the options that I have. Okay, beautiful magic. You said I knew a lady from New York, and she was saying that you can. Did you say you can speak to people there, or that you cannot speak to people there? Cannot. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is I've noticed with and it seems like the boroughs are different. When I went to New York, I mainly went to Manhattan. Manhattan to me looks like a business part of New York, but with Harlem, I went with my school. This was back when I was in ninth, 10th grade, and it was on a school trip to New York. And I remember we rode through Brooklyn with the Brooklyn Bridge, and we rode through Harlem and whatnot, and then we landed in Manhattan. Brooklyn, based on the pictures I've seen, I don't think I would go to Brooklyn unless it was for the food or for some type of event, but I don't think I would live there. The Bronx, and no offense to anybody that's watching this video that may live in New York or the Bronx, but I've seen pictures of present day boroughs in New York, and I can honestly understand why people work so hard to get out of those places. Because some boroughs in New York do look better than others, and I'm just like, I like Manhattan. Now Manhattan was a nice place. I've heard that Staten Island can be nice as well, but I think I have heard that sometimes people be a little racist from Staten Island too. But I think Manhattan would be a nice place that I would like to go to again. And I went to Ellis Island where the Statue of Liberty was. I really enjoyed that. And I would like to go to Queens. I've heard that Queens is one of the most diverse areas in New York, and I think it's the most diverse area in the country, where almost every language and every ethnic group is seen and spoken. And the only thing I know about Queens is, South Jamaica, Queens, because a lot of rappers are from there, and they're known for their Caribbean population. Because I don't know if it's like that now, because the racial demographics change in New York over the years. Because Harlem is known for its Black and Spanish people, Manhattan is known for its white and Asian people, Queens is known, from what I understand, its Caribbean people. Yeah, LL Cool J. I think he's from Queens too, and I know Nicki Minaj is, and Cardi B is from the Bronx, and Remy Moss from the Bronx, and Big Pun is from the Bronx too. And okay, where was I at? Oh yeah, Queens. Yeah, and so Queens, and based off of the pictures, it looks like it could be a cosmopolitan, family-like type of borough. So I think I would like to visit Queens to see what that's about. But I do know I want to go to New York again for the Puerto Rican Day Parade because I've always wanted to go to that parade because I know sometimes they have celebrities that are nominated as ambassadors or as public figures for the parade. And I think it's one of the largest and most well known parades in New York. Because I know in New York they have tons of parades. The only ones I've heard of was the Irish parade, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Dominican Day Parade, and the Caribbean Day Parade. And they have an African American Day Parade as well. I'd rather go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade instead of the Caribbean Day Parade. I love Caribbean culture, so that's why I want to go. But every time I've seen the Caribbean Day Parade on the news or anything, people are fighting, somebody gets shot, and I just don't want to go there and have to experience that. And I've heard sometimes the parades, depending on the time and where you're at, they can be a little dangerous when you're like in the backdrop of these parades. But going back to what you said, beautiful magic about you can't talk to people, I think that might have something to do with a lot of different reasons. Different cultures, since New York is made up of so many different cultures have different communication styles. I know that in American culture, and it depends, they want you to either be seclusive and let people come to you and walk up to you and talk, or they want you to be upfront and outward with people. I know in the Hispanic culture, they like to be communicative and talkative. Everybody gets up, you hug, kiss, speak, and everything like that. With Caribbean culture, I've heard they tend to let people come to them and talk to them. Now, with Italians, I've never known that many Italians, and the only thing I know about Italian culture is the language and the food, but I'm not that sure about communication styles. Now, with Asians, it's different, and I want to say this is different from dating experiences and chat room social media experiences. Asians tend to be the ones that like to approach people, when it comes to dating or friends and whatnot. They like to approach you and get to know you and feel you out. And I've noticed this with the browner Asians, like the Indians, it's mainly Indians that usually do that. And I think Sri Lankans are like that too. I think Filipinos, I think they're a mix. Filipinos are a mix of approaching people and not approaching people. Because Filipinos, from what I've noticed from being around them and learning about their culture, because when I was in college, a few years ago, I remember I was part of this international club, and we had a lot of Filipinos in the club. And I could tell from being around Hispanics, they share a lot of characteristics with Hispanics. And I know, of course, because in the Philippines, they had the Spanish come and take over their country until they left the country or they became independent. And that's why a lot of Filipinos have like Hispanic last names, and a lot of them mix with Spanish. And even when you look at Filipino food, it's very similar to Puerto Rican food. And so that's where those similarities come from. But I think that's what plays a part in New York too. But I also think it's a safety thing as well. Because when I looked up like the Bronx the other day, I noticed that they have a list. When you go on their Wikipedia page, they have a list of the gangs that are well known in the Bronx. You have the Trinitarios, which are the Dominican gang. You got the Bloods, the Crips, and I think you have the Soreños, which is a South Side Mexican gang. And I was surprised it was in the Bronx because I've always known them to be in California. And then you had, I can't remember if they said the Latin Kings, but I think it was another Latin gang that's well known in the Bronx. So yeah, I think that people don't talk to each other like that because of safety reasons and you don't know who's who where you go in the Bronx, and it's because of the communication styles. I'm just saying, I can't live like that. Not being able to talk or speak, and you can't socialize because I know what it's like to be cautious and not be too open and too giving with folks, but you can't even like speak and say hey when you're walking down the street or when you're passing somebody in the hallway. Like I have to talk to people. I do. I have to talk to people. So yeah. So New York, it will be a place that I will visit again, but definitely not somewhere I want to live. Plus, it's extremely expensive from what I've heard, and even from what I've seen. Because I remember when I went to Manhattan, the tour guide told us they had apartments where the rent was like $100,000 a month, and these were where celebrities live. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive to live in New York. You even had celebrities from New York say it's so expensive. That's why they chose to live in other cities and states due to it being so expensive. I mean, they got the money, but they don't want to blow all their money, living in a nice place in New York. So beautiful magic, I think you're from Minnesota. Maryland. Okay. I've heard about Maryland because I think my mom's friend is from Maryland. And I don't really know that much about Maryland. So what is it like in Maryland? Because I've heard that of course, the weather and stuff changes because it's up there in the north, but I don't really know that much about Maryland. Are the people friendly? Are there different varieties of food? Like what's there to do in Maryland? Really cold here now. The people are welcoming for that part. Okay, well that's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. Well, I may have to give Maryland a try. I have heard that New Jersey is a nice place to live. And it's a nice place to go to. I know Jersey City. I've only heard of Jersey City in New Jersey, but I haven't heard of any other places in New Jersey. I have a family member that lives in New Jersey, and I knew a man one time that lived in New Jersey. And from what I've heard from those two sources, it seems to be nice up there. The food is Baltimore is a little more diverse. Yeah, I've heard that Maryland's not so diverse, but Be More, okay, that's interesting about Be More being diverse.
I'm about to go to bed now.
So another thing that I wanted to say is, let's see, the people in Baltimore can be a little mean, but Maryland. Have I heard there be more people? I mean, I don't know if I heard that or not. I feel like I have heard that they are a little mean, but I don't know. I do know I want to go to California. California has always been on my bucket list to go to, especially Los Angeles, because I do want to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I've always wanted to go there. And then I want to go to Echo Park because a lot of my favorite movies have been filmed in that park. And I want to go to the Chinese Theater. And where else do I want to go in Los Angeles? Chinese Theater, Echo Park. I want to go to their Chinatown. And they have a Tokyo Town too. And they have a Tehrangeles, which is like a Iranian part of Los Angeles. And I don't know if they have an Indian section of Los Angeles either, but yeah, that's where I would like to go. And I think I know I'm gonna have to be careful, but I would have to look on a map. I think Slauson and Compton are near those areas, but I am going to be careful because I know it's dangerous in that area. And I do want to see Nipsey Hussle's store. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of Nipsey Hussle, because I know he died, and ever since he died, there's been a mural thrown up on any wall, a basketball court, cake you could think of. But I think I would like to go to the store to see what it's about. I think, well, now that I think about it, I think the store is closed. Because I think that when he died, whatever they had like in a stock, I think they let it run out. But as far as the store being open back up, I don't think the store is open. But I would like to go to that area and see. But yeah, like Philly, loved it. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I think I would like to go there. I think I would like to go to DC. Now, Washington, D.C., from what I've heard, is a really diverse city. There's a lot to do. Of course, it's historical because it's our country's capital. But I think I would like to explore D.C. One time I thought about working in D.C. once I got done with my bachelor's degree. Because I know you can get some really good government jobs that are like international based and whatnot, there. Now, the summertime in upstate, it can be really hot. Well, the springtime. Because when I was in New York, we went in the spring. The pollen and the heat were really bad. Like the area that we were in Manhattan, because we passed by not Times Square, but Madison Square Garden, and those trees have a lot of pollen in them. And we were in one of like most concentrated areas of the pollen. And it was just like, ooh. But other than that, it was a good thing. So before I end the slide, does anybody have any questions? In addition to Puerto Rico, well, I'll be going to Puerto Rico in the winter time. So I assume it's gonna be hot, but hopefully not too hot. What other countries would you like? I really want to go to Mexico. By the end of 2020, I really want to go to Mexico. Tulum. Wait a minute, I got a burp. Okay, didn't come out. Come out eventually. Did you talk about? I want to go to Tulum, Mexico, because Tulum is in that area where Quintana Roo, Cancun is in. The water is really beautiful. It's like crystal clear kind of blue. And I know you can get like a lot of seafood and whatnot in that area. So that's where I would like to go at the end of this year, is Tulum, Mexico. Beautiful Magic, you said, did you talk about? I can't see the rest of the question. I'm gonna have to find out a way to fix this because this is not making sense. I know some people when they do YouTube live, Lizzo. Oh, Lizzo. Yeah, you wanted me to talk about that. Lizzo, I felt like Lizzo did that stunt at the basketball game to prove a point. And the reason why I say that is because Lizzo, this was her breakout year. You know, she had the Truth Hurt song and she's been performing everywhere. She's been getting, magazine covers and everything. But I can tell she's sensing that a lot of people are throwing shade at her for being a larger woman, wearing clothes that people think are traditionally for smaller people. And, she's getting on stage dancing, half naked or fully clothed. And she's even doing new poses. And she knows that a lot of people don't think somebody her size should be doing what she does. So she's kind of like, F y'all, I don't care. This is my body. This is what I'm going to do. And so, kudos to her for doing that. But I feel like, and what incident did this kind of curtail it? I think somebody said something about her performance or appearance one time where she had on the not leotard, but it was a jumpsuit. And it kind of had the thong that went in between your butt, but she has on like stockings and stuff. I think somebody was talking about that. And then on her Instagram page, she showed a picture of her like from the back where it said to kiss her ass. And so she was like, well, not she was like, but a lot of people saw it. And I think she caught riff of what people were saying about her butt and how she always shows off her body. So that was one point. And then I think at the basketball game, I think she did it for attention and to prove a point. A lot of people were just like really upset about that and anything was appropriate. I just feel like Lizzo, don't let what other people have to say about you get under your skin or get on your nerves. Because when you do stuff like that, that's how you know people got you. Because a lot of celebrities don't understand that when you let people who talk about you drag you, dismiss you, and they always try to throw shade or throw hate. When you do stuff that they want you to do, or when you be like, yeah, I know y'all don't like my titties, but here you go, you can see them. Yeah, I know you don't like my butt, but yeah, I'm gonna show it. Yeah, I know you don't like my hair, but I'm gonna do this and that. You create a show to a point where if you would have just sat back and been quiet, you could have just, lived in your truth, lived in your honesty, been unbothered, like a lot of us like to say, and just let it go. And just let it go. But when you jump bad and jump back about stuff like that, you just give the haters more to talk about. So that's how I pretty much feel about that. Yeah, Lizzo did do it for attention. Yeah, she did it for attention. Yeah, Lizzo definitely did it for attention. And a lot of people was talking about it, got caught on camera, especially, courtside. Whenever you are a celebrity, you're sitting courtside or you're sitting in the audience, they're gonna catch you on camera and they're gonna see you. They're gonna see you. I thought it was inappropriate and distasteful, but I won't withdraw my support from her. I like Lizzo. Yeah, I like Lizzo. She has a really nice personality. I do remember that, and let me look it up real quick because I think at the Soul Train Awards there was a girl that lost to Lizzo. Let's see. Ari Lennox. Now, I've never heard of Ari Lennox before. They say she's good and she does a lot of music that's like black cultured or center based. And and she was just pissed, like Lizzo. Well, I made an album for black people. Lizzo didn't. I feel like Lizzo. Now, Lizzo is a black woman. She's an artist or whatnot. But I just feel like Lizzo is more marketable and she's more popular because her music like fits different genres and it's fun and it's universal. Because I've noticed now, in order for black artists to kind of reach the international audiences or to reach the non-black or non-urban audiences, you have to create like a happy song or happy music, or it has to be something that's relatable, but it has a beat to it that everybody can just dance and dance to their bar mitzvahs, dance to their quinceañeras, dance at their family reunions, things like that. And so with the Soul Train Awards, I think that's why Lizzo won against Ari Lennox because yeah, Ari Lennox may have made the album called Shea Butter Baby for black people, but Lizzo, due to her being black and hitting black, white, Hispanic, and all the other audiences, I think that's why she won. Instead of her winning for content, she won for impact. So the next question is, what food have you never had before you wanted to try in 2020? Let's see. I've had a lot of different food. I have had Egyptian, I've had Moroccan, I've had Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, Mexican. I've had Peruvian, Greek, Italian, Indian. Trying to think of what other foods I've had. I've had Filipino, I've had Chinese, I've had Japanese, I have had Korean food, I've had Malaysian food. I love Malaysian food, especially when it has that Asian, Indian blend. Yeah, I've had Haitian food. I have Venezuelan food. Colombian, I won't say that I've had before because I've never really been to a Colombian restaurant. I mean, yeah, me and you, we did eat the Colombian empanadas that time. That was just one thing. I feel like when you eat a dish, you eat like a main and a side and a dessert. That's trying it. So yeah, I've had Haitian, Venezuelan. I've had a taste of Colombian, and I've had soul food, of course. But I would like to try. Oh, and I've had African food. I've had Ethiopian food. So I would like to try. I want to try Hawaiian food. I don't know if I said Filipino food, but I've had Filipino food too. Let's see. I want to try Hawaiian food. I want to try. Oh, I've had Guyanese food too. I forgot. I had a lot of food. Jamaican food, I forgot about them. Uh, I think I want to try. Oh, I've had Salvadoran food. I've had Panamanian food. That was a long time ago when I had Panamanian food. I want to try Honduran food. I want to try Belizean food. I would like to try Russian food. I've never had Russian food before. I want to try Nigerian food. I want to try South African food. I want to try Israeli food. I haven't really had a lot of Middle Eastern or European food. And the Asian countries I haven't tried is Burmese food, Laotian food, and Indonesian food. I haven't tried those. But I've had like a world of plates. I've had a world of plates. I like to try different types of food because of the variety. I'm not real big on fast food, American style, because it's so greasy and cheap and it's really not healthy. And one thing I'll say about international foods is that I like them, especially when they're cooked from scratch, but they can be unhealthy too because they use a lot of grease, sugar, salt, and all of that, just like we do when we cook our food. But I just like the way it makes me feel. I like the way I get full, and I like how I feel, good. And I don't feel, I don't feel stuffed after I eat, excuse me, one meal. Okay, two more questions, and then I'm out. Yeah, that's pretty much what fast food is. I worked in fast food, and it's just frozen food thrown on a grill, microwave, or fryer, and they just put it in the bags and serve it. But I do know I would like to try McDonald's in other countries because they do make the menu according to the country's culture. Because I know in India you have the vegetarian burgers, and then in Korea you have the different burgers. Then in Japan you have the black burger, and I'm not sure about Latin America when it comes to their McDonald's menu. But yeah, I think I would be more interested in trying the Middle Eastern and Asian McDonald's because those seem to be more interesting. If you make it, it tastes a lot better, it takes longer, but you can tell it was real. Yeah, it does. And that's what it comes down to with making stuff from scratch. And another thing about cooking food from scratch is that it's cheaper. Because if you buy like a lot, like the ingredients you're going to make for a meal, if you're just cooking for two people, a lot of times you'll have enough left over for like 2 to 3 days. And you can just eat off of that and then not buy anything else. And then with the leftover ingredients you didn't use, you could use it for something else. And so that's what I like about cooking from scratch is that you can save money, but you can also still be fed because a lot of cultural foods they stretch, like rice and beans and chicken and the breads can really stretch out too. Okay, everybody. So thank you all for my birthday wishes. Thank you all for tuning into my live. And I hope you all have a good day. See you next time.